Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to discuss my top 5, or rather 5 favorite bands of all time. No particular order. We're going to start out with British heavy metal band Iron Maiden. One of my favorite bands. They're heavy, they're melodic. Guitar solos are amazing. Great drumming by Nico McBrain. And amazing vocals by Bruce Dickinson. You also have the truly original and innovative sound of Steve Harris on bass. Maiden is by far one of my favorites. I return to them quite often. Next, we have Metallica, who have pretty much, reinvented what metal is. From the days of Black Sabbath, they've really taken it to the next level. James Hetfield's one of the greatest frontmen of all time. Great right-hand picking, great vocals, great energy. Just one of my favorites of all time. Master of Puppets, the Black Album. So many good offerings from Metallica. One of the best ever. Next, we have Steven Wilson. Steven Wilson has been a part of Porcupine Tree. He's done side project after side project, including his own Steven Wilson group. An amazing, extremely prolific musician from pop, rock, blues, jazz. The guy touches on everything. Absolutely amazing. Porcupine Tree, the Steven Wilson group, just phenomenal. Next we have Dream Theater, which is the Metallica of the prog rock world, in my opinion. John Petrucci is one of the greatest guitar players ever. Mike Portnoy is one of my biggest drumming influences. And I love the long form arrangements, the odd time signatures, the unique scales and modes that they incorporate into their music. Dream Theater is just phenomenal. Last but not least, and coming way out of left field, we have a band called the Pat Metheny Group, which is a jazz group going back to the late 70s. Phenomenal jazz group, super high quality writing. You have everybody being a master of their instrument. It's essentially all instrumental with the occasional vocal from various guys throughout the years. But phenomenal guitar playing, phenomenal piano, just an amazing group that I will always love and respect and return to. So there you have it, guys, top 5. And there's going to be many more of these in the future, so look out for more, and I hope you enjoy. I hope if you notice a name I've thrown out that you're not familiar with, maybe you could check them out, and maybe you'll love them for yourself. Alright guys, as always, like and subscribe. Thank you. Catch you soon. Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're all well. Listen, today I wanted to discuss what I believe to be one of the best albums of 2022. And what's really interesting about this album is that, for me personally, the band that put it out has never really been in my top for listening. They're a great band with a great history, but they've never been one of my favorites. But nonetheless, I was listening to a playlist and I discovered one song, instantly fell in love with it, and I got the album, listened to it probably 300 times in the first couple months. Just completely obsessed with this album. And the band is Queensryche, and the album is Digital Noise Alliance. It came out in 2022. There's about 13 tracks on it, and I swear there's not one single bad song. Some of the songs are absolutely amazing, like I'd put them up there as like some of the best songs ever written for rock and metal, and then the rest of them are really good as well. It even includes a cover called Rebel Yell. The production on this album is tight. The instrumentation is well written, well put together. The vocals soar over the top. You can hear what the vocalist is singing about quite often. Song titles are amazing. Drumming is amazing. Super tight, super modern. A lot of double bass. The guitars, the riffs, the melodies, the solos, as with all Queensryche stuff, it's classic, it's timeless, it's amazing. This album, I can't say it enough, is phenomenal. Okay, so if you guys like metal, rock, Queensryche, even though Jeff Tate's not in the band anymore, Tyler Torrey does a fantastic job. And in a lot of ways, their sound has kind of changed to fit him. Kind of reminds me of Bruce Dickinson, sort of, in a way, in terms of his vocal style and the sound of his voice. But anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Phenomenal album, and definitely one of my favorites of all time. Hope you're all well. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to talk a countdown, or a ranking, or a list, or a top 4, my top 4, favorite vocalists that are known for their high-pitched, long-range, operatic screams. Okay? And if it weren't so early right now, I would give you one of my own. Okay, maybe another time. But what we're going to do here is we're going to rattle them off, and I'm going to rattle off a song that you should check out. Alright? The first one we're going to go with is Ronnie James Dio. The guy was super talented in the vocal department. He was a poet with the lyrics, but he could really wail, right? And he came out with songs like Rainbow in the Dark and Holy Diver. I'm actually just going to say, check out anything by this guy. Maybe Man on the Silver Mountain live would be a good one to really hear what this guy can do. But he is by far one of my favorite rock and metal, high-pitched, operatic screamer vocalists. The next one is Rob Halford from Judas Priest. And he's also been around forever. Still going to this day, I believe. This guy could paint, peel the paint off the walls with his vocal shrieks and screams. The guy could, bring a song to an end in the most famous way. Long, high-pitched, long duration screams. A song where Rob Halford is able to display his operatic screams would be the song Victim of Changes, which goes back to 1976, I believe. Sad Wings of Destiny album. Whether it's the original album track or anything live, the guy just screams his ass off at the end of that song, as well as throughout. And it's a phenomenal song, even without the screaming. But man, the guy can scream. It's awesome. Yeah! Next we have Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden fame, right? Iron Maiden plus his solo stuff. And this guy is my favorite singer of all time. If I could only choose one, it's Bruce Dickinson. And there's countless songs where you can see what he can do. Run to the Hills from Iron Maiden, The Trooper, right? You get a bit more of a refined scream in his Skunk Works and Bruce Dickinson studio stuff of the late 90s, whether it's Accident of Birth or I believe it was Chemical Wedding. And the guy could go high, he could go low, he could sustain. Just a phenomenal vocal acrobat. Last on my list is a guy most people probably haven't heard of, but he's probably the most talented and least known of the list. Also, the one that really amps me up the most. I was obsessed with this guy when he first came out. He replaced Rob Halford and Judas Priest in the late 90s for a couple of albums, one of which I consider to be one of my favorite albums of all time, Jugulator. It's unbelievably heavy, and his vocals just make it perfect. His name is Tim Ripper Owens, and whether he's singing his own stuff or doing a cover of Priest, the guy could break glass with his scream. It's long, it's intense, there's a low end to it as well as a high end. It's guttural, it's throaty. At the same time, it just gets you going, right? It just makes you want to get up and just, dance. He's probably my favorite of the list, specifically because it's such a niche thing. Like, he does it so well. He does it better than Halford. There's something just so primal about his scream, right? If you can check out the song that Halford did from Sad Wings of Destiny, brain fart. Victim of Change. So, Victim of Change's live with Tim Ripper Owens, the end, the scream. It's like 20 seconds long. It's phenomenal. Anyway, that's my list for top screams. Hope you enjoyed. Comments, likes, subscribes. Screams out. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another installment of my favorite albums. Today's pick comes from a band that's been around since the late 60s. They are known as Yes. Not No, but Yes. Okay? Not the Who. Who? No. Yes. Okay? Don't rush. Yes. All right, sorry. Enough of that. The album is called Fragile. Okay? And this is a friggin' masterpiece, this thing. From top to bottom, you have songs like South Side of the Sky. You have Long Distance Runaround, Heart of the Sunrise. These songs are long. They have multiple sections. They have time signature changes. They have key changes. They have feel changes. Some of them are soft. Some of them are a bit more crazy. The top hit off the album is called Roundabout, which is still on the radio to this day. It's a phenomenal track. Even their commercial stuff sounds good. Yes, being a classic 70s prog band. Prog being a type of music that's noted for long songs, long drawn out arrangements, lots of different elements, time signature changes, key changes, putting in a 3 to 5 minute intro before the words start is a very common theme as well. I'm looking at the track list and I see 9 songs and they're all amazing, right? Vocally of John Anderson, he's very high pitched, but he's got a great voice, great timbre, fits the music well. The bass player, Chris Squire, lays it down. He's simple but productive and efficient. He knows how to support the song. And then of course the genius behind the guitar and the writing, Steve Howe, right? Phenomenal. This album is just amazing. Okay, can't say enough about it. Definitely in my top 50 favorite albums of all time. Even the artwork is amazing. It has like what looks to be like a globe, like the Earth, and it's got a painted vibe to it. Very interesting feel. And fragile is such a cool word also, especially when having to do with music, because music is about expression, and music can be fragile, right? Things of expression and art can exude fragility. And so the album's called Fragile, the band is called Yes, the album is phenomenal. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like the band Yes? Maybe you don't. Maybe you like no. I don't know. I'm full of bad jokes today, guys. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Check out Yes, Fragile. It's perfect. Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to consider this a personal rant. I want to get something off my chest. And it might possibly be kind of an unpopular opinion. So the subject matter today is, when should a band call it quits? And I feel like there's a lot of bands out there right now, including some of my favorite bands, that I just feel like they should just be done. And the reason for that is they come out in the early 80s and they put out a 45 plus year career. And, you know, at a certain point, everything starts to sound the same. They might sound tired or uninspired. Maybe they're in it just for the money, and maybe you can tell. The bands that I consider to be my favorite, that I would lump into this category, would be the bands like Megadeth and Metallica and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, and I would throw Slayer in there as well. But Slayer got out. They called it quits, despite what anybody might think about that. I feel like they've done what they need to do. You know, you got to get out on top, right? I don't know if anybody here is a Seinfeld fan, one of the greatest sitcoms ever, but Seinfeld got out on top. He pulled the plug after 9 seasons. It was a great season. They left you wanting more, okay? Whether you're dealing with sitcoms as an art form or music as an art form, I truly do believe you need to close that curtain before stuff gets stale, because the last thing you want is for your project, your band, to be kind of stunted. Like, the memory is stunted by the fact that you overstayed your welcome, right? So a band like Iron Maiden, I love them. They're in my top 5 favorite bands of all time. But I would love if they just stopped. Same thing with Metallica. Like, just stop. Like, your best days are behind you. What are you trying to do? You're just turning into a parody of yourself, right? What do you guys think? Do you think I'm off course? Do you think I'm blowing this out of proportion? Do you think I'm out of touch? Or do you agree? After 45 years, maybe some of these bands that have defined genres and become household names, should they just hang it up? Forget about the money. Do it for the art. Hang it up before it gets stale, before it becomes a parody of itself. We don't need that 19th studio album, right? We don't need your new millennium take on heavy metal. Like, just, you had your great time in the 80s and 90s. You had some good stuff in the 2000s. We're in 2023. You guys are in 60s. Like, just knock it off already. All right? Thank you for the music. You're amazing. But stop. Get out. Drop the mic. And do something different. What do you guys think? I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm right. Maybe you don't have an opinion. Maybe you never thought about this idea before. Say something, all right? Let me know. Welcome back, guys. Today we're doing a fun one. We're going to talk about my top 3 favorite heavy metal album cover mascots. Okay? Coming in at number 3, we have the horned demon-looking creature that almost resembles a wild animal of sorts, maybe a wolf. But he's got the horns. He's also adorning the rock fists, right? His name is Murray, and he's adorning most Ronnie James Dio band albums, right? And he gives off a very cartoonish vibe, but there's also a mystery to the way his illustration comes across. He doesn't really have a mouth. He has red eyes, horns, and he's rocking the rock fists. And it's equally terrifying on a very subtle level, as much as it is intriguing to see this character. And of course, when you see it, you instantly know Dio, right? He's on most of their covers, from The Last in Line to Holy Diver, Dream Evil. I do believe he makes his way into the later part of the catalog a little bit as well. By far, one of my favorite metal album cover mascots, Murray from Dio. Number 2, we have the adorned skull from Megadeth, and his name is Vic Rattlehead. And he was on most covers from Killing Is My Business, and I believe it was 85, all the way through to the current time. He usually takes on a specific character in a specific scene, right? My favorite would have to be, I'm just going to throw a picture up real quick. I try not to use pictures, but I'm just going to throw this up real quick. This is probably my favorite one right here. Vic Rattlehead. There's a song about him called Rattlehead. I do believe it's got to be about him, off of Killing Is My Business. It's a great concept, and the way they adorn the skull with the metal and everything makes it original and not just a hacky skull, right? So Vic Rattlehead coming in at number 2, and then of course number 1, I'm sure everybody knows what I'm about to say is number 1, and that is of course Eddie the Head from Iron Maiden, right? The greatest metal mascot ever created to adorn every Maiden cover from studio to live, every compilation, every tour. Eddie the Head is on the cover in one way, shape, or form. He's usually the focal point. He's usually the main character doing whatever on a thematic level for the particular album. My favorite Eddie the Head would probably have to be this one. And what's really cool about Eddie is that not only is he part of the album cover and a representation of the band, but they also bring him out on stage. Maiden is so damn popular, so damn successful, that they're willing to spend millions of dollars creating these tour-specific Eddie robots that will come out on stage and walk around and do crazy antics and, headbang. And what an interesting concept. What an awesome thing for a band to do. And of course, Iron Maiden, one of my favorite bands of all time, and Bruce Dickinson, my favorite singer of all time. So why not Eddie the Head as the greatest mascot, right? What do you guys think about the mascot idea? Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's kind of hokey? Out of the 3 that I've chosen, who's your favorite? And do you have a favorite album cover? Leave that information in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.